How y'all feel? This is Brian Mazique, aka Unique Mazique, the hardest working man in sports and gaming, and we are biggity back. What's going on, Nelson?
Man, a lot has happened since. I have to give our followers and viewers credit
Yes,
because we missed a few weeks. They make me feel like we missed a year, and
yes,
that's awesome. That's
that
awesome.
is. It
Like
is
I
awesome.
love it. But it's
It,
good to be back, man. A lot has happened since we have last been here together on the air.
yes, yes, yes. I just want to tell everybody I am pregnant. No, that's not true. That's not true. I'm not pregnant. And nobody I'm affiliated with is pregnant, at least to my knowledge. Knock on wood. Let's let that not be the case. But yeah, man, it's been a lot of stuff going on. Um, so you tell me, I want to tell some people because you got something real dope happening. Well, first, before we even say that, I want to hear, I want to see what everybody thinks about. What do y'all think about the new look?
Yeah, what's up with this?
Because I
And
really, I
if
really,
we should just say if you're new to the channel, if you're new to the show, if you guys are just jumping in, we are a talk show of Forbes writer Brian Unique Mazique,
that's
owner
me.
of the franchise play channel and series, and myself, Nelson Blake II, co-host of the Sim Hangout with Desar from 2K, as well as co-host of this show, and professional comic book artist as well.
Yes. And
And we
so like we didn't look our show last time y'all saw us, the show didn't look this way. We tried to do something different to kind of just get just to make it look a certain, kind of way. It kind of covers a lot of bases for us, right? So we don't have to tell everybody where they can find us on social media because it's right there. We don't
hmm
have to ask people to subscribe every 5 seconds because it's there all the time. But we do want y'all to subscribe and to click the notifications bell. Because here, I'm going to be real. Oh, and I need to give a shout out to Everything Pro Wrestling. My man, Conrad Cushman, because
Oh yeah, Conrad's good people.
he's the one who hooked me up on the software that we're using now, on the app that we're using now, which is what facilitated the improved layout. So I appreciate your assistance there. Uh, but yes, for sure, for sure. So also want to give a shout out to my man 1989 Michael Rigsby. He held your boy down, even though I didn't get a chance to meet him when we went to LA. He did give me and Junior a recommendation for a barbershop, and that's where Junior got his haircut before we went to Community Day for 2K. So that was pretty cool. But it's something that I want to say, but it's your news, so I think we ought to let you say it.
Are you talking about
But
my current gig?
yes, it's
Okay.
fire.
So I appreciate the love, man. Sim Nation across the board has been very supportive. I'm working. Everybody knows I've been working for Marvel Comics for a while, amongst other comic book companies. I've also worked for DC and Image and stuff. My current gig for Marvel is I'm the artist on their series Make Me a Hero, where you guys can watch it on their YouTube channel. And it's a series where people describe what kind of hero they would want to be, and I draw it. And while they're talking about it, they show footage of me drawing it. And at the end of the video, they animate my drawing and stuff like that, and it's really really fun. I love it. It's one of my favorite jobs ever. It reminds me of being a little kid drawing with my friends and them just making up characters, and I get to do this for Marvel Comics, so it's pretty much a dream gig, and I'm glad you guys are digging it so far and have been watching the videos.
Yeah, actually, so if anybody hasn't seen it yet, I just put the link to the playlist in the description. And, I mean in the comment section. I mean, it's pretty bananas, y'all. I mean, really, I'm not lying to y'all. When I watched it, I was like, is this real? Like this, it's like something that you sit up a game you sit up and play with your brother or something when you're a kid. Be like, man,
Yeah,
if I was a superhero, I'll be able to do this and I'll be able to do that. Be like, no, I'll be able to do this. And this is exactly what the person is getting able to do, is able to do. And then Books is there is the person that's actually drawing them. So I find that to be freaking amazing, just personally. And I feel just privileged to know the person who's doing that. It's really dope. It's really really dope.
that's much appreciated, man. Like
Yeah, if
seriously.
I mean, if y'all haven't, I'm gonna show you guys something. If y'all haven't seen it, I'm gonna show you, just give you a little glimpse of something. I'm not gonna play the video because I don't want Marvel and Disney to come looking for me. Uh,
they,
Together.
they're in a bad mood after the Spider-Man
Right. Stand.
business.
I don't need no problems. I don't need no problems. But I'm gonna see, like, it's just so you guys can kind of see what I'm saying. It is really dope. Check this out. And I'm also, I ain't gonna even lie. I'm liking using some of this new stuff that I can do on here. But look at that. Look at that. Look at your boy there. Look at look at your boy there. Caught your boy mid stroke.
Pause. As the kids would say.
You know what I'm saying? That's pretty dope. What studio is that you drawing in at?
I'm actually at Marvel headquarters.
Dope, dope, dope,
Yeah.
dope. That is real dope, man. I mean, just cold, man. Just and then I got one more I gotta show y'all, because this is one of my favorite ones because of the diversity that I see and the artist, which is of course his books, but the diversity that he shows here, because I haven't personally, of the stuff that I've seen him draw, I haven't seen him really draw a character that looks like this. So I thought that it was pretty cool to see this one. I mean, I think, it's way, way different. That one there
All right,
is,
thanks, man.
yeah, that's pretty dope. So yeah, man, y'all should really check that out if you haven't got a chance. Now, obviously, we're gonna talk about 2K, but I gotta tell y'all kind of some stuff that's been going on with me. I did get an opportunity to go to community day with Junior. It was a crazy experience, man, because I happened to be in LA because of my partner. I do another podcast, in case you guys are not aware. That podcast takes place on Wednesday, actually at the exact same time, 9 p.m. Eastern time. It's called The Fight Guys. I'll give you the link to The Fight Guys here in the description. I mean, here, I keep saying the description. Here in the comment section. We've actually been doing really well. Got like 4,000 subscribers in literally like a month. And so I've had the opportunity to interview Manny Pacquiao, Bob Arum, Tyson Fury, just crazy, right? So we went to LA. That's why I was there for Community Day, and we got a chance to go to Mike Tyson's ranch. And so it was funny because it's the same week that the $40,000 in weed talk started coming out,
Hmm.
and we pulled up to the spot, bro. And I'm telling you, the whole place smelled like weed from the outside. Just it was insane, dude. I'm like, are you kidding me? I'm so glad I left Junior at the hotel because there was all kinds of things happening in the ranch. There's all kinds of things happening. So I got a chance to. So Tyson Fury got a chance to interview him there. The link to that I just gave you guys. Please subscribe. It's going to be right now. We're focusing a lot on boxing, but the MMA talk is going to be there, and as well as WWE. So it's called The Fight Guys because it's covering a whole bunch of different stuff. So all right, enough of that. Let's get down to business. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do. If you haven't liked the video, do that. Also, make sure you click the notifications bell. Let's talk about the community day. I want to kind of break down what it's like. And one of the reasons I want to break this down, Nelson and everybody else, is because I want people to understand what goes on at these events, because sometimes people feel like the they don't know exactly how it goes, right? So they'd be like, well, why didn't somebody say this when they were there? Why didn't somebody say this when they're First of all of these community days are different, right? Sometimes they'll have us, they'll invite people over to the 2K headquarters. You go in and they do a whole presentation on each mode. The developer steps in and talks about their mode and this, that, and the third. Then you get a chance to play it all. This particular time, it wasn't like that. You go in, they had a bunch of stations set up before you got a chance to play. They showed you the trailer for My Career and they showed you the My Player trailer. The build that we played was pretty much finished. They had
Hmm.
ripped out some of the courts that haven't been revealed yet,
Hmm.
so they couldn't show, like, so if you chose like the Wizards court or something like that, like the whole court is black. because they couldn't show all of that's
Right.
new. But every mode was on the game with the exception of my team and the neighborhood.
Let me ask you real quick. I got a quick
Mhm,
question. Um, what do you think of, because you bring up something about them not showing you guys certain things, right?
right,
Do you think 2K is too guarded about stuff so close to release? I find them to be very unique in how they disseminate information. Because most games by this point, we're about 2 weeks away,
right.
you
Oh
know
yeah.
everything about the game. Like you done played like Call of Duty, you done played 5 betas, like a Watch Dogs type game, you know who all the characters are. You know
Hmm.
what I'm saying? Like even fighting games, you've played the pre-alpha, the alpha, Overwatch, that type of stuff. 2K's like, we're not gonna show you a basketball court, even though it's a basketball court and you know what basketball courts look like. Like the only difference between that Wizards basketball court is instead of the logo over here, it's gonna be over there. Instead of indigo blue 45, it's indigo blue 47. But they
Right.
got people on community that they're like, no, no, you can't look at the Wizards basketball court. Like, I don't really have an opinion on it because it's marketing. They're gonna do what they're gonna do. But I just find it very strange that 2K is so guarded about about a game that's gonna be 85% similar to the year before, a week out before the game is out. That's interesting to me. What do you haven't been there community day? And I know I've been through the NDC stuff. I've been to 2K. I know how it is. What do you think of all
I think that honestly, well, the part with the part with the
that?
part with the courts is not 2K. That's the NBA.
Oh, is that the NBA?
That's
Okay.
the NBA. So the NBA doesn't want them to leak any uniforms that haven't been released. It's 2K and Nike as far as the uniforms.
Okay,
As
that makes
far as the
sense.
courts, it's the teams and the NBA. Now, as far as information, you're 100% correct.
Yeah.
Uh, I think that there's a happy medium between the way 2K does it and the way EA does it with Madden,
Yeah.
because I think EA spills all of their beans too early with
Mhm.
Madden, and so the game that it doesn't come out for about. I mean, and it's the whole thing is working for both companies because both companies sell a crap load of units
Right.
every year. But for me personally, as a fan, Madden tells you everything that's coming out, and there's nothing new for about anywhere between 45 to 60 days before the game comes out. Like
Hmm.
literally everything's out there. So I always feel like by the time Madden comes out, and maybe this is because I'm a journalist that covers the games, but by the time Madden comes out, I'm kind of like, because the hype just isn't there like it was anymore, and I need to
Hmm.
get it back in my hand to read to like kind of rekindle that excitement. For 2K, I do think that I mean, literally, the neighborhood is going to be one of the biggest parts of the game, right? The game comes out in what is it, 9 plus 6, 15 days.
Yeah. That's soon.
And nobody has seen anything at all about the neighborhood, right?
Or my team,
My team
or you know what I'm
hasn't,
saying?
my team hasn't been dropped. So here's what I think, right? I think there is a I think there's a benefit to the way they do it because they literally keep people on a string until right at the very end, and then it's like reel them all in at that. And I get that from a marketing business standpoint, um, but I also think that it sets them up for a lot of criticism, which I'm not even sure they care about anymore. You know,
Yeah. You know
um,
what's funny? I don't know if it's my age or if I'm just so used to 2K
mhm,
doing this, but it used to be that I got more excited as it went on, like hunting the ghetto footage from,
mhm,
packs and stuff like that. Or was it Paris games or whatever, Gamescom, they usually had stuff. But now it's gotten to a thing of where because you know that they're not going to release any information so close to when the game comes out, and now there's more competition, frankly. Like in years past, I would play 2K, Street Fighter, and something else like on rotation. Whereas now it's like Overwatch and Destiny, and I started playing FIFA. Like there's a lot more competition for games just in general, and games are much more investment based. There's more 1,000-hour games out there, right?
mhm.
Games that you might be on some grind on. So a lot of people on Fortnite or Rainbow Six Siege. So for me, if 2K is being stingy with information, I've gotten to the point where I'm just like, I'll just see what it's like when it comes out. Like
Yeah,
they drop a trailer, and I'm kind of like, the trailer, the game comes out basically tomorrow. Why do I care about your trailer of people just dunking and like shimmying at the camera? Like yeah, I know there's gonna be dunking and Zion going flex. Like I get it. Yeah, yeah. I dunked. I right.
Yeah, the trailers don't do anything for me. They don't. The what does stuff for me is the developer blogs,
Yeah.
because I've been doing this for so long that I already know. I mean, put it like this, right? This is what a trailer is to me. A trailer is the girl you met on social media's best Instagram pics.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
what.
absolutely. And you know what? I have love for that when it's done really well. The Momentous trailer is
Oh yeah, I
always
mean, yeah,
fantastic.
but
And
for.
shout out to Shady who just dropped his Sizzle trailer. If y'all haven't seen it, that's
Mhm.
amazing.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm with you though. It's like it's not really telling you anything. I guess I would love the developers' blogs if they were really, really in depth, but they kind of dialed that back this year too.
Well, I thought I think that the gameplay one is good. Um there's some other ones that may, you may see down the road that I think you might feel is has a little bit more weight to them.
Yeah,
So I don't know. I put it like this. We're going to talk about each mode, so I kind of want to jump the gun because I want to make
yeah.
it, when we break these out into individual segments, it's easier for our editor, my
Hmm.
wife, to handle it. But it's like I agree with what you're saying. I do think
Yeah,
that um after you've gone through so many release cycles with 2K, the 2K way can get a little bit like. But
yeah,
here's the thing: 2K as a business has to really concern themselves with the new fans who may only be their fourth 2K cycle.
hmm,
You know what I'm
hmm.
saying? This may only be their third 2K cycle. And I do still I don't now the ghetto footage I just can't do. I just
Yeah.
like that stuff there, and call me a sedity video game fan. But anytime I see something and I'm
Well,
not watching
let's be
that.
100%. Let's be 100%. In 2008, ghetto footage was authentic.
Oh yeah.
In almost 2020, you can't even make ghetto footage anymore.
Because
There's no such thing
because
as
the
ghetto
phones are
footage.
so good. You almost right.
Everybody's phone is in 4K. What are you talking? You
Right.
know about ghetto footage? They know the ghetto got 4K phones too.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know what you
Right.
talking about.
It's
Ghetto. Who
it's
are you fooling,
the
man?
the thing of it is that, like, okay, like off screen stuff is what I can't deal with.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, yeah.
because
And I'm
even with a 4K
right.
phone, bro, if you shot that joint talking about some, I just I can't do it, bro. I
Yeah.
can't do it. It does something to me. And I don't know. It's
I was just curious because in this day and age, honestly, I get more hype for Mike Wang and the developers
yeah,
answering tweets than I
yeah.
do for their actual marketing. I just wanted to pick your brain on it. I'm not really complaining because, as I've said repeatedly, I'm not going to argue with 2K marketing on anything, man. Nobody ever thought this game would get this big. They're one of the biggest games in the entire industry,
They
let
are.
alone sports. So shout outs to them for all of their success. I do think it's well deserved for all of our criticisms of the game. I never want to lose sight of the fact that we're criticizing a great game. At this point,
Yeah.
though, it just seems like with the market, and I'm kind of like, eh, I'm not. I'm not sure this is really working, or is it just that you guys are so awesome, it's gonna work anyway. You know what I mean?
You know what? Honestly, I kind of think it's more the latter.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
I
It was like
kind of
when
think.
Beyonce, like, she just dropped her record without telling nobody it was happening. Yeah, she Beyonce. She could drop it however she feel like dropping
Exactly. And
it.
I
She could
think,
show up at the corner of your house and just hand it out, and 4 million people gonna show up to
and it's
grab it by the afternoon.
and it'll be viral next week.
Right, right,
So
absolutely.
it's, yeah,
The
I
biggest release
think
in
that is
history.
kind of what it is with them. Like, I do think sometimes they overthink things.
Yeah,
And like you say, it can be a little bit overly secretive. But see, you guys, you and I, Nelson, and then most of the people in our chat, because we tend to attract people who game like we game, and
yeah,
we attract people who are the same level of fan of 2K that we are, right?
mhm,
But that only speaks for the people that are here. There are other people who, like I said, haven't been through as many release cycles. They play the game for different modes and for different things. Like there's some stuff, bro, I'm gonna tell y'all, and when y'all see it, okay, here's what I'm gonna tell you. There's something that's in this game that I really can't even say yet, but there's something in this game that when y'all see it, every single person probably in was watching this right now is gonna go, oh my God, really? And it's not gonna ruin anything that you love, but it's
Uh-huh.
just something that when you see it, but there's probably a larger group of people that's gonna go, oh, that's lit.
So it's gonna be like this year's cages and
Yeah,
dodgeball.
something like that. So I'm just saying, right? It's just wait and see. You're gonna see what I'm saying when you see it, you're gonna go, that's what Mazique was talking about. I already know without me even saying it, right? So
And
it's
2K, I
just
got a
different
secret.
groups.
I got a secret for you, 2K. All we care about is my career versus modes, my team, and my league. That's your game. That's 2K.
Yeah,
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like
yeah.
all the dodgeball and football and bike tricks and cages. I honestly think that that's wasted resources. Like
I don't think it's a waste because
the
I don't
DJ
think
room, which I enjoyed, but
I don't think that there's anything like that they're doing that is preventing them from doing something that is more whatever. I think the things that they don't do are philosophy issues,
yeah, I
tech
agree.
or
They
tech
are
issues or
philosophy. Yeah.
something to that effect. That's what I
I
think.
would say it's philosophy in the sense of like if I had disk space to allocate for say the cages, I would have rather walked across that bridge and had an online practice place.
Yeah,
You know, where I could like practice my moves, practice against my friends. You know what I'm saying? And just
right.
check out new jump shots and stuff like that without in a park type environment and stuff like that. But hey, you know what? That's me. I just wanted to pick your brain on that. Was there anything else on Community Day you wanted to drop on us?
Basically what I wanted to say is just that when you're like, so they gave us all an opportunity to capture footage, right? So that's why the footage that you're seeing is in
He said is B Fresh back. I'm sorry. That's why I shouldn't read the chat while you talking because we got. That's a good one. Shout out to you. Go ahead,
it's,
Musique. I
no, it's all
apologize,
good.
but that's
That
good.
it's just that like they gave us opportunity to capture this footage, right? Everybody had a chance.
Yeah,
So you only get a certain amount of time. So you got to go to whatever you think is important to whoever your audience is, right? I know who I am, and I know I'm a franchise mode guy, and I know I'm a roster guy. So I had to
yeah,
make sure that I hit that up a lot. I think I had probably the most straight gameplay stuff, 5v5 stuff of anybody who was there. And
yeah.
I knew that would be the case. But I didn't want to completely neglect my career and all that and my player builder. So I got some of that stuff coming too. But the environment is such, man, that there's so much going on. You really can't get a really good feel of how the game really truly plays because you're not
Yeah.
sitting in your chair.
Mhm.
You're
Mhm.
not doing like you. So I caution everybody to take these early impressions from Community Day with a grain of salt because it's not the same as sitting in your chair, you know.
You know what it is, and I've actually gone through this doing music and stuff like that.
Hmm.
When you get on a plane, fly out to a place, see 100 new faces, make a whole bunch of quick contacts, and then sit down to do something, it just happens in a completely different place in your brain.
Yeah.
What you do, the way you focus when you're playing 2K and learning anything like on your own is totally different than when you do it in that environment. And the feedback is just based off of a very basic impression. It's part of the reason that when people do tournaments, they first tournament, most people don't play very well
Hmm.
because they're so not used to that tournament environment. Their adrenaline and focus is all out of whack. And even though it's not competition in 2K, it's still a very similar thing
Yeah.
going up there and doing that kind of thing.
Yeah. I mean, because people are walking by and all that,
Yeah,
like, because I'm sitting there and I'm trying to take look at rosters and play a game with the Pelicans, and Offset walks by.
yeah,
And not that I care much about the Migos, but I recognize
I'm
what's
glad you said the Migos because I had no idea who that was. But
yeah,
also,
trust
he
me.
he amigo.
Trust me. I had to ask my son, who is that? I knew he was somebody. I
Right.
knew he was somebody, but I didn't know who he was, you know.
Yeah.
So it was like, yeah, whatever. And I mean, then some other rapper, I forget the guy's name, was there, and a bunch of other people. The game was the game. Dude, the game is a
No, he's
hardcore
nice. He had a
gamer.
99. He had a
Like
99
he's a
character.
hardcore. He don't just play like, oh, and yeah, I got the controller. I'm gonna play a little. No, dude is
No,
like he's
no.
sitting
The
in there.
game is.
Yeah,
He's nearly a professional level basketball player. Not
yeah,
NBA professional, but professional.
right.
And he is nearly a professional 2K player in terms of his dedication. Even
Yeah,
if he paid somebody to get him to a 99,
yeah,
that still means he cares enough to have a 99.
yeah, for sure,
You know
for
what I'm
sure.
saying? That he
Yeah,
gonna use this 99 rated carry. It means he knows that at 99 you go to Hall of Fame. You know what I'm saying? Like you got to be deep into it to even want that. So
for
shout
sure.
out to those guys. Did you enjoy the event?
I did, man. I did. I did. Everything pro wrestling says that I turned on the Bulls because he see this hat. Actually, no, I'm wearing this hat in honor of my man, Mr. 1989. I know he's a Clippers fan, and he wanted to brag about Kawhi because we ain't had a show since Kawhi went to the Clippers. So
Uh huh.
I wanted to give him a little bit of shout out there. All right, so let's jump to the next thing. Let's talk about the demo.
All
Um,
right.
who,
What y'all been
obviously,
waiting for?
I know y'all been, people have been playing the demo. Overall, I am going to give some gameplay impressions from what I took from it because I'm
Yeah.
gonna be honest with y'all. I've been so busy today and yesterday, I haven't even got a chance to play the demo yet.
All right.
So,
Well, tweet
you
the
know,
link out so that people who want to know this information can come get it. If you guys have any questions in the chat about builds or dribbling or something like that, ask it now. I've taken a really deep dive into the demo and particularly the wing archetypes, the guards and the forwards. So I would say I think a lot of the hot takes on the game are wrong. I think most people are looking to play 2K19 right now. They're
mhm,
not trying to play 2K20. And I've already figured out almost every single 2K19 dribble combo that I would use
mhm,
and how to do it in 2K20. And despite knowing those things, when actually most people haven't figured out how to do those things yet, um, I still think that the dimensions of the game are going to be very different. And the main reasons are they did severely nerf the wings, right? Guards got buffed, certain center builds got buffed. But the wings have gotten a nerf because the speed and the shooting on the wings are very drastic when you go from 6'7" to 6'8". So the 6'8", 6'9", 6'10" players, which were particularly popular with lockdowns,
mhm,
we probably won't see those players, which that's one thing that changes the dimensions of the court. Another thing that changes the dimensions of the court is every guard build is basically going to be able to, every shooting based guard build is going to be able to put Hall of Fame limitless range on. So that's going to change the dimensions of the court a little bit. And then you have off ball movement. That's going to drastically change the dimensions of the court because you can legitimately off ball, left, right, shake people now, which
right.
is an entirely new offensive move set, which means that certain players, like say if you have a post player, when you pass it to the post player, everybody off ball gets more dangerous. And now
Mhm,
you're going to have to choose whether to dedicate resources to the post player or to the off ball help to a guard that probably has Hall of Fame catch and shoot, Hall of Fame limitless range. So this inherently means the nature of the game is going to be very different because last year the game was basically, you know, stretches, playmakers, play shot, play sharps, and lockdowns. Those three builds dominated the game above everything else. There wasn't a whole lot of, even though post players were very strong, the problem is post players were getting 2 points, and on defense they were when a stretch, a two-way stretch could get you basically 7 for 7 from the corner and guard every position on the floor because of the
yeah.
way the defense was set up. Which leads me
Mm.
to the last thing is the defense. If you're a big, chances are you're not going to be able to guard a guard this year.
At all.
Right. So and let me tell you guys, like for those of you struggling with the dribbling system, like I said, I've pretty much figured it out already in terms of the 2K19 version of it. And there's no way a center moving at the speed that they're moving this year. I highly doubt that they'll figure out anything to stop guards. You just um, the combination of the centers being slowed down, the guards being just as good at dribblers as they were last year, if not better, and the fact that the contest, you have to be a little closer to contest this year. So all of the little step backs and then fadeaways and stuff like that, they're more powerful this year than they were last year for a lot of the builds. So when bigs sag off, you can kind of kill them immediately. Whereas last year, bigs could wait at the free throw line, and when you started your shot animation, they would
Immediately
zoom and
contest.
magnetize back up to you, even though they were completely out of the play. And their contest would be a heavy contest, even if they didn't make it all the way up to you. That's not going to happen this year. So we have to play the main game, obviously, to see how it all comes together. But for the people who are complaining about this game or loving this game based on 2K19 habits, I would just say really take a deep dive into everything and try to learn all of the new stuff in the game. The dribbling, the off ball, the defense, which has an entirely new learning curve, the left stick stuff, the new badges, like the first step that everybody's making a really big deal out of it. It is a big deal, but keep in mind that that means that you don't need dribbling to get past somebody. So you got to test out your archetype and see at what point does this, first step badge stop mattering? At what point is my guy too slow? At what point is he just fast enough? That might be the solution for some of these builds that can't quote unquote speed boost.
Yeah, I would definitely agree. I'm going to talk a little bit more about that speed advantage because in my opinion, you see it a lot in 5v5 gameplay, which I had a chance to play and see extensively. And believe it or not, the place that you see it the most, this might shock you, is if you play blacktop.
Okay.
If you get on blacktop and run a bit with that, just because it shows you really that one-on-one dynamic better than any of the other ones, and the
Hmm.
control and the speed threshold is the same. Junior got a chance to be on 2K TV playing doing a challenge where he had a chance to pick the player he wanted to pick. I won't spoil it, but if you see the matchup that was there and you see how one player is beating the other player, you really will see in great detail how that the speed is different. But like I said, I'm going to talk a little bit about that in the next section. But I do
Okay.
want to hit a question from Mr. 1989, and check this out. Books ain't even seen this yet. Check this out.
Look at you. Okay.
1989, my man there with the beautiful baby in the background. I see you, bro. Ask us, bro. He says, do you see us eventually having more freedom adjusting the pie charts? And he continues, like, what if I wanted to 40, 40, 10, 10 my pie chart? Which here's the thing. I feel like initially, right, when they first rolled out that you could you would have more freedom. There wouldn't be all these restrictions with the arcs, right? I was like, yeah. But now I'm starting to see that if they're like Mike Wang's already tweaking stuff, right? Based off of people's feedback, right? And that's what a demo is for. So I'm not tripping on that too much, even though I don't agree with everything that he's changed. Um, I would, based off of Mike's, because everything you guys are playing on the demo, I played at Community Day, which is why I didn't fall all over myself to play the demo, right? But I'm starting to see that there's just as many restrictions, if not maybe even more. And maybe it just feels like more because you're giving me this pie chart on the screen, in which some kind of way sends a signal to my brain that I have more control than I actually do. Because when you start trying to tweak the pie charts, as my man Tim Hamer said, he says, he said the 1989 had a great question. He says there were some pie charts where I was like, if I could change this just a little bit, then it would let me get closer to the exact build I want. What I don't like is that there is still this thing that's trying to prevent you from making the build that you want, which to me further illustrates that there should be my career and Park and Pro-Am should be separate in regards to the way your whole build goes. Because as a gamer, I don't want, like, because when you go to my player builder, you don't know what I'm gonna play, right? 2K doesn't know what mode I'm gonna play. They don't know if I'm gonna stay in the park. They don't know if I'm gonna stay at Pro Am. They don't know if I just simply just want to play my career, and that's just all I want to play. But you're restricting me as if I'm going someplace that I may not even be going. And I
Okay,
think you should ask me where I'm
so
going and then,
I yeah,
set it that way.
let's address that a little bit because that's an interesting thing. So the reason I don't think it needs to be separate is I have not felt at all limited in my career with my abilities.
Hmm.
And the reason is because badges are so powerful that even though from a rating standpoint you can't meet up to an NBA player, you can usually make up the difference with badges. And never in my life have I averaged so many points and assists in my career so easily. I know it's just a demo, but I easily dropped 50 in the demo with a
Hmm.
pure stretch. Like he was like, Dirk McDurant. You know what I'm saying? Like it was
Dirk
just
McDurant.
it's like so I don't feel like my career is restrictive. So here's the thing that you guys have to understand about the archetypes and the pie charts and all this stuff. The big nerf is they won't allow you to have certain combinations of size and speed. That's really all it comes down to. If you allowed every build, every size to give, say, plus even 10 speed, you would feel like you were making god level characters
Hmm.
because and this is something important to keep an eye on for the final release, the shooting threshold. Until we get into the park and get into, my career, if you're a big my career player, and pro am and stuff like that, and see at what point do shots stop going in when they're wide open.
Yeah.
This is very, very important because last year the threshold was actually 55.
Hmm.
Once you had a 55 and somebody was passing to you with a dimer, if you had corner specialists, you would make at least, I mean, if you were a great shooter, 60% of your shots, which is a lot for a build that's
What, a
giving you something.
55?
Yeah, for something, and the build is giving you elite somewhere else, right?
Hmm.
So they're blocking shots and catching oops and getting steals, and they're money from the corner, right? Now, once it got to 65, a less skilled player is getting that same percentage, and a higher skilled player is just not missing at all. If you watch those Ticino matchups where he came to the States and played all of the best park players, at least the best ones on YouTube,
Hmm.
those bigs, those lockdowns and glass cleaners, which is a little tiny bit of 3-point shooting in their build, those guys almost never missed.
Yeah.
And outside of Pory Boy Sin, I don't even think any of those guys had Hall of Fame dimer.
Yeah. No, yeah, I'd say everybody else had like
Maybe
gold.
Lamonsta.
Yeah.
Lamonsta probably did because he had the 99
Hmm.
play sharp, but everybody else had gold or less,
Hmm.
right? And these guys are still making every shot. So the shooting threshold is the number one regulator that determines how high your shooting ratings have to be to make the open shots. And then the number two regulator is the speed threshold. The speed is what's really keeping you from making Giannis Antetokounmpo, Kevin Durant, LeBron James. And the reason they have that regulated the way it is right now is because if the tall builds get too fast, the guards won't be in the game. And if you take the guards out of the game, you get what we had last year, where we had size creep, where by the end of the year, it was all centers and forwards. And there was almost
Yeah.
no reason to have a guard in 3v3 or up,
And
right?
and not even
1v1, 3v3 or up.
and not even just in Park Pro Am, or it's bled
My
out to
team
my team. That's
destroyed
why
my team.
it destroyed my team, and that's why
Yeah,
nobody wanted a guard. So all of those cards got completely devalued because why would you have a guard, right? So
right.
I 100% agree. Let's dip to. I want to talk about some gameplay impressions,
Okay.
just from 5v5 standpoint, right? And we did talk about this a little bit. We talked about how the speed, to me, the two biggest differences that I saw in gameplay, because I loved 5v5 gameplay. I mean, I loved it, right? And the
Hmm.
reason why I loved it, and like I said, grain of salt, it was the environment that I was in. But what I loved about it was I thought they had a really good balance of flow and what my man Gideon Prime would call ball tangibility. I
Hmm.
thought there was a nice balance between that. I thought the players themselves felt heavier depending on the player that you were controlling. And I felt that difference both on offense and defense, right? So whether or not I was handling the ball, trying to beat somebody off the dribble, and especially if I was trying to defend. Defending with a heavier player feels different than defending with
Yeah.
a small player. And I dug that. I really dug that. Like it was almost like there was extra animations in there. Like, so if you're guarding somebody off the dribble and somebody's changing directions and you're literally trying to change directions with them, it's just not as easy to change
Yeah.
directions to stay with a person. So you will definitely see that. I thought shooting was a little bit more difficult in the build that we played. I thought it was a little more difficult, depending on which one you had. It felt a little slower. So people will have to get adjusted to a slower motion, thus a slower shot meter. I didn't like the fact that they shrunk the size of the shot meter. Put it like this: I didn't even recognize, so I know
Mhm.
it didn't bother me. Um,
It's
I
back up though. It's closer to 19.
Yeah, that's what he said. I mean, that's what I meant. I didn't like the fact that he changed it closer to
That he
19.
changed it back.
I
Okay.
did. I mean, sometimes I feel like 2K is a little too reactive, especially to gameplay concerns, especially those that come out during the time period where we're evaluating a demo or the first 3 weeks to a month that the game has been released.
Little antsy.
Little antsy. Let people get you. They're gonna whine. I mean, the first thing people do when something don't go their way, whether it's video games or regular life, is pick up their phone and start typing. That's what they
Yeah.
do. So that you have to say, okay,
And
let's
here's the thing
wait,
about
and
yeah.
let's wait and see if this is really an issue or you just frustrated.
And I'm not trying to be a snob here, but from a competitive standpoint, fighting games is the games I was most competitive in, right? I
Hmm.
played against really, really genuinely great players in those kinds of games, which forces you to play games a certain way. And the 2K community is only just now beginning to approach 2K that way.
Hmm.
So when it comes to you have, and this is no disrespect to him, but say poor boy Sin,
Hmm.
he tweeted out super early that pure point forwards are dead, right?
Hmm.
Now, if he was like most guys and had a 6'8", I would be like, hey, maybe he has a point. 6'7", I'm telling you guys straight up, the best character I played in the demo was the 6'7" pure point forward.
Hmm.
That character could do anything. I mean, it defended, it's super fast, it can shoot, you can put ridiculous badges on it that you couldn't put on it before. It seemed easily like a better build, but the dribbling in 2K is really different. So until you get into the lab in 2K20, you don't know how good the dribbling is. After seeing how good the dribbling is, there's no way I would want any kind of buff to the pure point forward. You would be talking maybe about a global buff to make them taller, but I don't want that character any taller than he is
No,
because
no.
essentially he's a point forward that has slashing and shot creating, and he can even have gold catch and shoot. Like you have enough room for that. Like it's a stupid build. It's definitely the build I'm playing first. And I tried legitimately 20 builds, right?
Right.
So and he's the best park player, and I say this as a credit to him, even though I don't like the knee-jerk reaction. He's the best park player by every metric, right? In high-level comp games, he's won the most, and he has the best record and the most games played. He's the best park player, and day one he thinks his build is dead because he doesn't dissect the game and break it apart. So for that reason, Mike Wang can't overreact to certain things. Like people sometimes just need time to get used to it. Like you guys have a vision for the game. If the game is not living up to that vision, then by all means patch it. But if it's what you really wanted and people just don't get it yet, I feel like with 2K there's this fear that, oh my god, we were never supposed to sell 10 million copies a year. We were never supposed to make, $1 billion off of one 2K game or whatever they make. Like, and if we do something that pisses everybody off, they're all going to leave. That's what it feels like sometimes.
Yeah.
And with a competitive community, every successful competitive game has somebody in there that's like, you guys are going to have to deal with this and figure this out. Stop being scrubs. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
You have the tools needed to succeed. I'm not buffing anything. That character is good. That thing is good. You just need to put more work in. And if you don't do that, your game will be broken, because then when those people make their adaptations, you get what we got last year, where in the beginning of the year, nobody was talking about lockdowns at all. By the
Right.
end of the year, you had 3 lockdown lineups dominating the park.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I really couldn't agree more, man. It's just too many. It's just, but we live in a world of knee jerk reactions, both from the developer side and from the customer side, and you can apply that to every walk of life, every industry. It's a lot of knee jerk reactions that rule, and I think that's what we saw. But we do have a question. This one comes from Eastwick's Baller. He says, "How will the defense be able to adjust to new off-ball movement now? Does the game have animations to counter that?" So there are there's some badges that are specifically designed to counter off-ball movement. You have off-ball pest that
Yeah.
improves a player's ability to bump and harass the offense off the ball. It makes players more difficult to get past when playing off the ball, as they can grab and they hold their matchup and don't get their ankles broken as often. You also have obviously pick dodger, which is off ball. It can be off ball depending on where the screen is being set. I hope that that is included in the AI. I'm not sure. Then you also had a tireless defender, where they say it reduces the energy lost when exerting effort on defense. So it allows the defender to play defense more aggressively without losing the energy at the same rate as a normal player. So I know what you're asking when he said, like, is there animations? Because you have like the jab step and stuff like that. Are there animations built in? I don't know if it's animations built in. I didn't see any of that, but I do think that there are ratings and or badges that will help to make those animations be less effective.
Yeah. Let me get a piece of that. So I would say first and foremost, let's state as basketball players that one of the most effective things in the game, especially today, because the level of shooting overall is higher, is to
Mhm,
have your Steph Currys and Klay Thompson running all over the place, catching the ball and shooting. The NBA hasn't figured out how to shut that down. They figured out how to slow it down.
mhm,
So we shouldn't expect 2K to give you a complete counter to it. What you want is you want a counter to force your opposition to take tough choices, right? But if you have an excellent screen setter and an excellent off-ball player, they're going to score on you. This is true in real life, and it should be true in 2K. So we don't want a complete shutdown, because that wouldn't be realistic. We want counterplay.
mhm,
So that's first and foremost. So speaking of which, Sam Fam, shout outs to Sam Fam, recently put out a video about a two-way playmaker build. 6'6", max wingspan, I think max weight. Um, and I tried the build out, and it's fantastic. And when I played that build, again, the demo is only on Pro. When you play, I know the 2KU is on Rookie. The My Career part is on Pro. But let me tell you, the difference between playing a purely offensive build and playing that build, I was able to take Klay Thompson completely out of the game. I mean,
mhm,
there were some really pretty situations where he was running off the ball, and then with the other build, I would have been completely dead with like a smaller guard build that I invested totally offense into. But
mhm,
with this build, the closeout felt more like 2K19 closeouts. So I do think in the full game, depending on how the meta shakes out, which is another thing, what characters are people making, right? The
mhm,
builds that people make in the beginning of the year, everybody's talking about short builds and so on and so forth. But let me tell you, if you're a sharpshooter, you can go for height because you're going to be slow anyway,
yeah,
right?
mhm,
And if you make a tall sharpshooter, you guys automatically can invest into post badges. There's no post build that you have to water down your shooting with. So you get all of your shooting from last year and all of the post fade badges you want, which means that you can have a 6'11 stretch with Hall of Fame catch and shoot, Hall of Fame pick and popper, Hall of Fame limitless range, a 90 plus 3-point shot, and that character will also have Hall of Fame post fade and a very very high post rating, right? So and the deep post rating badge and fadeaway animations and all that stuff. So what this means is if you wind up guarding a stretch big that's setting a screen and you have to chase him around that screen, the character you have can't be 6'4". He's going to be open no matter what you made. Your
Mhm.
character probably needs to be 6'7", 6'8", and this is where the speed thing may become a factor. The stretch bigs could be really, really strong in this game, setting screens for quick guards that can shoot if all of the lockdowns are too short to get contests. This might be something that we have to look at
But
going down
but
the line.
but you know what? That scenario you just painted is real basketball.
It is. It
So
is 100%.
I don't have a problem with that. That's why length is important on defense.
Yeah.
That's part of the reason. So I don't really have an issue with that. But we do have people in the chat that are saying the off ball movement is their favorite. So far, that's Cameron Powell. I really did like the off ball movement too.
Yeah, it's great.
I think it's cool. Honestly, we talked about this, that about having the ability, and really I think what's being slept on, and we'll talk about that in a second. But there's a specific mode or modes that I think that it will be the most important with. So, but let's move on to our next thing, and I want to go to this particular mode. We don't have a lot. I don't have a lot to say about it, but I do have some stuff to say about it. Um, my team. All right. So I saw a bunch of people like just like panicking in chats, and I thought it was kind of ridiculous because I was like, y'all really are not sitting up here thinking. Like people were like, is my team gone? Because they were looking at these menus from the build that we were playing, and they're like,
They
is
know how
my
much
team?
money my
I'm
team
like,
made.
do you know how much money my team, bro? Every mode in this game just about will be gone, with the exception of my career before they took my team out.
Right, right.
If there is a game, a mode in this game that they would break out as a singular game by itself, it would be my team.
Let me tell you something. It would take probably 10 years of NBA Live to make what my team makes in the first quarter of 2K's release.
I would agree.
And they might still be short.
And that is not an exaggeration.
Not at all.
Not at all.
Not at all.
That's
My
not
team is one of the biggest microtransaction successes in all of gaming.
yes. It kills it. Like
Yeah.
the numbers are obscene that it does, right? They're obscene. So my team is not out of the game. I have, learned a bit about it. It's got some layers. Let's put it like that, right? So we'll learn probably about that.
So
I
I'm
would.
gonna
I mean,
ask you a couple of questions since you obviously have the non-disclosure face on. You got that non-disclosure look about you. So I'm gonna ask you some questions that shouldn't violate any papers you signed.
okay.
Um, okay, number one, are you excited for it?
Uh, yeah. Yes.
Do
Yes.
you feel like it will that although you did say that in a high tone? See, when people go to the Justin Timberlake, there might be some issues there. So that's interesting. Because if you ask somebody, hey man, was that good? Yeah, it was great. You ask somebody, hey man, was that good? It was all right. Uh-oh. Mm. You said that in your head voice.
I
Okay.
didn't say.
I'm reading into that. I'm just reading into it. You didn't say
Yeah.
anything. You just said yes. Um, Number two, do you think that the improved meta of um, the size differences in the game will carry over to my team, or do you think that the unrestricted NBA players could leave you guys, the my team guys, stuck in the meta of last year?
I know for a fact the issues from last year will absolutely 100% not be a problem.
Awesome, awesome.
100%. 100%.
And are you going to be playing my team this year?
I will.
Okay.
No.
So if we have time for it, we may have to do a little my team triple threat showdown if we get the
Oh
chance.
yeah, 100%. 100%.
It depends on if I make a deck or not, because that's a lot of work. That's a lot of
Yeah.
extra 2K.
It
And
is. It is. It is.
yeah.
It is yeah, but yeah. So SCH Gekzu said that Shaq was at the point guard in my team. And y'all might think that's a joke, but I absolutely
Not
played
at all.
against a dude who had a pink diamond Shaq as a point guard, and he literally backed my Magic Johnson down every single time. And it was literally nothing I could do because he had passing badges. His passing was like 75 or 80 or something stupid, and it was nothing that you could do.
Yeah.
But I can tell y'all that kind of stuff. Nah, I don't. Even beyond anything else related specifically to my team, based off of the gameplay adjustments that have been made, I know for a fact that that won't be a thing. But yes, my team is coming out. I am excited to see it and wanting to play it. Didn't get a chance to play that one at all because it wasn't it wasn't on the build we had. But yeah, definitely looking forward to it. All right,
Okay.
let's jump to the next mode, my GM. So here's the thing. And yes, I am going to talk about my league because I know we got a lot of people in here that want to talk about my league because it's one of people like us, some of our favorite stuff, right? But my GM, what I think that they did, and I don't know, Books, if you had a chance to read the developer blog, but I felt like what they were doing was they were trying to create some sort of skill gap with my GM because now
Oh,
there's
with the leaderboards and all
with the
that.
leaderboard.
Yeah.
And so say for instance you take the Golden State Warriors, right? Now they already have, say you had the Warriors last year, they already had Durant, Clay, Steph, whatever. You get points for winning the championship, leading the league and scoring with certain guys or whatever, but you don't get as many points because of one, how good the team is, and two, the players that were already on the team. You would get more points if you were to trade Steph, trade Durant, and get somebody else and add new people to the team, because they would basically say you're now being more of a GM, right? So that's how that leaderboard is set up. I'm gonna be totally honest with you. I think that is going to be something that don't make any sense or any difference to anybody at all who plays my GM. If they played my GM at all, they're gonna play it and they ain't gonna pay no attention to that.
And you know what? I'm with you on that, and I hope they don't, because inherently, my GM harkens back to the days where you would go in and write an entire sports franchise storyline in your
Hmm.
head. And
Yes.
what I like about my team in theory is that there are more characters to interact with, right?
Hmm.
As opposed to back in the day, you had the adversity of the actual franchise itself and the players on the court. There was not a whole lot of other interactivity, maybe a little
Hmm.
media here and there. But by having an owner, that gives you a responsibility. I don't like how many tech screens there are and how much idiosyncrasy there is in the
Hmm.
story. There's just
Right.
a little too much jokey joke, little too much, trying to, like, really just too much trying to be funny. And I just want the sports feedback experience. If I'm doing a good job, I want praise and more money and resources. If I'm doing a bad job, I want the game to put pressure on me. That's
Hmm.
it. I don't want your life story about how you're from Texas and your daddy grew up a oil shucker. Like all that, that's not adding to my experience. That is my career stuff and that's specifically the early movie of my career. I want all of that cringe out of my GM. I really just wanted to feel like I have a back and forth with my owner on some business type stuff, and for everything else to come from the choices that I make in the game. But that having been said, I do think the nature of the mode is you're creating your own world, and I don't think leaderboards are a welcome addition to that. Maybe they will be, but I don't see
I
that being a thing.
cannot see anybody tweeting and posting their leaderboard score from my GM. I just can't see it. And I'm as hardcore of a franchise mode guy as you'll ever find. But maybe that's the point. Maybe it's not for me. Maybe it's just a way to try to, lead people who are not hardcore franchise people to franchise because they need that interaction, that outside competition for that particular mode. I don't know. It wasn't much for me. Um, Here's the thing. I just overall, from a franchise standpoint, there wasn't a lot like I love the Czar and I pick the Bulls all the time. But he's my general manager. He's my owner every single time because his name is Eugene Pettit. In the last two or three versions, if you pick the Bulls, the Czar is the owner of the team, and his name is Eugene Pettit. But it's the same thing though. They kind of got, and like you said, trying to be funny, trying to have a personality. Honestly, man, the franchise modes in 2K are the best franchise modes in sports games.
Yeah.
But it's not because of that.
No, it's
It's
the
not because
depth.
it's the depth, it's the
Yeah.
customization. That's what makes it the best. But in terms of the flow and the way they let the way a story kind of develops on its own, MLB The Show's franchise is actually the best
Right.
because they don't inundate you with all these forced stories and narratives. They don't do any of that. They say check. And this is why a lot of people like my league so much better than my gym, because it takes
Hmm.
all of that out, right?
Yeah.
I applaud 2K for giving two franchise modes when other companies are watering down the only one that they have. So
Hmm.
I give them props for that. But in the show, man, dude, I'm in the middle. I'm playing literally all 162 games of a MLB The Show franchise. I'm not simming nothing. Every pitch, every swing, everything, and I'm almost halfway through the season, and I am literally having a ball.
Yeah.
And the only thing from a narrative standpoint that they give you is there's a little radio show that plays in the background after every game, and it's cool. I hear it, and I hear it almost in the other ear, the same way I hear Sports Center when it's on or something
Hmm.
like that. And I absorb the information the exact same way. And at this point, I really feel like that's all that's really required.
The thing is, if you think about golf, right?
Hmm.
One of the reasons people find golf so addictive
Hmm.
is because it's just you staring in the face of a challenge.
Right.
What my league type modes, what franchise modes are doing is they're just adding a little seasoning. They're
Hmm.
adding all of the extra numbers, all the extra layers, and a little more feedback to it. That's it.
Yeah.
That's all you need. You, the challenge of getting a team to be a dynasty, and feedback, more and more feedback based on how well you're doing. I think the elegance of that is better in other games, even though with 2K you've obviously got the graphics, the gameplay, the presentation, and the layers and years of excellence in many other ways. But in that particular way, I feel the same way about my career.
Hmm.
You know, which I don't know. Do you have that on the list?
Yes.
Okay, then I ain't gonna get into it, but I think they suffer from the same situation. Keep it a little cleaner when it comes to progression and the feedback loop that we get from doing very well or doing very poorly.
Yeah. I would. I couldn't agree anymore, man. I really I think
you said Desar's name and he popped out of the ground like Mephisto.
he was. You know what? I think Cesar got some sort of lurker
Yeah, he got he got
badge.
he got a burner account.
He got a lurker a badge or something like that in there. I don't know what's going on. I don't know what's going on. But all right, so yeah, let's jump to the next thing, which you guys probably already know. My league. It's my favorite mode. It's my favorite mode in any sports game, literally. Um, a lot of questions. Are we getting a my league blog? Are we getting more information on my league? They didn't do anything with my league. I'm gonna tell y'all right now, this is the first time I'm saying this to anybody, writing or anything like that. There really is nothing new coming to my league. The only thing that's coming to my league is that they have said to me specifically that the my league online servers are fixed. They said they
Okay.
did not want to deal with that issue again this year. They know that it was, but bad, and they have said they flat out they fixed them. But there are no new features coming to my league. There's like little tweaks with sliders. I mean, not with sliders, with like, like visual stuff on the screen, but no new features or options. And a lot of people, my league fans, are spoiled because every year they roll out something that's just like, whoa, but not for this year. You, it's fixed. The my league online is fixed. So that's what's been told to me. And think about it. You usually my GM and my league is the first thing they talk about every year because
Mhm.
it's the thing that not the most people are looking forward to. So yeah, that's all you're gonna get. Now, somebody asked a question that I wanted to say something about. Um, where was that question? Yeah, I hope I get a Galaxy Opal Derrick Rose on the first pack too, bro. I really do. Somebody had a question and I really wanted to answer it. Looks like I might have missed it. Um, man, it was a good one too. Oh, I hear it was. And this had to do with my league, and that's why I wanted to answer. Uncle Drew said, "Sir, please answer me."
Yeah, I'm actually curious about that.
He said, "Can you adjust short lengths to specific players?" Yes, you can. I looked at that, right? Well, here's the thing. I
Follow
should
up. Can you do this in the WNBA too?
ooh, it's coming. It's coming. WNBA
Okay.
is coming.
Okay.
So
Okay.
so
Okay.
check it
Okay.
out. So I wanted to see this because as a person who does the roster building and all of that, I if I make the all-time roster like I generally do, if I put John Stockton on a team and I got Karl Malone wore shorts bigger than John Stockton, I always want to make that represented. I don't want everybody to either have to wear big shorts because they got from a 90s team and then everybody from a 70s. What if I use a 70s uniform? They got on short shorts. I can tell you, and you can actually see it if you look at my all-time Bulls versus all-time Lakers video. Some of the players have on short shorts. Some of them have on long shorts in the same game.
Awesome.
That was
Awesome. That's
never the
actually
case before.
and that's customizable now, or
That's the part I don't know. I don't know if I can.
if it's locked in, or
Yeah, I don't know if it's locked in or if you can actually change it. But I do. I can tell you that there are some players that have short shorts and other ones who have on the longer shorts. What's going on? MF Doom by Tim Hamer, Jason Battle, DJ. I sound like the Czar. These are the same names he called out. You got Denzel Lee, Full Clip Gaming. Like I said, Uncle Drew, Eastwick's Ballers in here. I appreciate everybody that came through. Yeah, 1999. He didn't get the Ask Us Bro hashtag, but I saw it. That does help me see it though. If you hashtag it Ask Us Bro, it helps me see the question much better. Because sometimes y'all not even talking to us. Y'all just talk to each other, which is great.
You know, they all talking to Czar right now because he in there cutting up.
He probably talking about me. That's why.
Yeah,
said, did I hear Brian Mouther be? What you talking about? I ain't bad mouth you. What did I say?
He talking about when you talking about him in Maggio.
Oh yeah, Eugene Pettit. Yeah, nobody want to talk to you no more, man. Because I hear your voice every time when I'm reading the script. I hear his voice.
If you don't call Czar Eugene next time you on the Sim Hangout, I'm gonna be a little
yes,
mad.
his new name is Eugene Pettit. I'm not even calling you. I ain't gonna call you Nino. I'm gonna call you Eugene Pettit. That's what I'm gonna call you from now on. That's it. Yeah, he said he got several burner accounts. You know, Czar got one account. Czar got one account where he's a little 5'4" white man named Aloysius. He said, brother,
no one suspects.
You know what? He said, I look like a midget in his chair. You know what? That's really not what it is, Czar. This hat is too small. And it is throwing off your depth perception, is what it is. And I got this hat on only for 1989 because I don't even wear this hat in public because it's too small. This hat stunts my this. I can't even wear this hat during a brainstorming session because it ain't go. It won't allow it. So I just want you to know. He said he looked like 3'5". See, this wild.
I told you he cut. No, I told you don't read the chat, man. He cut.
What, boy? If I could, boy, you better be glad I ain't got no mute. Look at this. He looked like he 3'5". See, this what that's why I don't fool with you. That's why I don't fool with you. He definitely is a troll, just complete troll. But all right, let's just jump up. Czar, just stop it. Let's talk about my career because
all right.
you were just talking about that. There's so many. This is what y'all get 2K for making a game got so many freaking modes. We got you know how many tabs I got here?
Game ain't even out yet.
How many tabs I got going on here, man? It's crazy. So I really wish they had pulled the story out. But they didn't.
Okay, so let's hop on that. What do you think of the trailer? I saw you had some feedback on your channel.
I don't know if you locked into playing with the Pelicans. It kind of almost looked like they built that whole cinematic trailer around Anthony Davis, which was kind of weird because everybody had to know it was a possibility he was going to get traded. I don't know. Maybe I don't know what it is. It's weird. It's just weird. It's just weird. I put it like this. I wouldn't take off of my review score because of the My Career Story, but it certainly is not going to add points to it for me.
Yeah. I have to say, I appreciate the production value. I appreciate the work that they put into it, and there's certain things in My Career that I'm gonna enjoy, like just playing on that park in New York or St. Louis or Chicago and LA. They got some really nice parks there, courts there. I love the college atmosphere stuff that they do. I hope that's really in depth. I hope that you have to play like full tournaments in the game. I hope it's not just playing a scene. I'm really against that. But I will say overall across the board, having played the Journey mode,
Yes.
I just think that's so much better, man. Like I
I,
think it's so
I
much
mean,
better. Like
even
it's like
even
way better.
even
They need to go back to that.
even long shots, right? Like,
Yeah.
because here's my thing, man. Tell your story. 100% tell your story. But just don't put my character in it.
See, here is two things with it. One, that's a great point. The fact that I have the option to play the long shot character and continue that story, or I can go into career mode with my own thing, that's
Yes.
huge. But the other thing about it for me, particularly with the journey, it did two things really well. Number one, I felt like I was really making choices,
Yeah.
right? And the
Mhm.
choices were more believable in terms of the responses. They were all sports responses. The my career script in terms of when you're in an interview is really horrible. Like they say stuff you would never hear a player say, or you would
Yeah.
hope you would never hear a player say. It's not funny, it's not interesting, it's not even arrogant, it's just silly. Like everything is just silly.
You just, you know
You
what?
know?
You're just silly. That's
Just
what you are.
silly.
You're just silly. Woo. That sound like, boy, that sound like my mama used to say stuff like that. You're just silly.
And then on top of that, you're not making any choices. It feels like you're on rails. And
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys remember this. Only the really old people remember this. Y'all remember when Sega CD first came out? And
Mhm.
it was like all of realistic graphics, and you played the games, and you was essentially just watching in the game and
Yeah.
occasionally pushing left and right,
Yeah.
like it was on some Dragon Slayer. And everybody was like, "This system's trash," until Sonic CD and Luna the Silver Star came out. That's what my career is. My
Yeah.
career is basically full motion video where you occasionally play NBA 2K on rookie. And that's not what we want out of the mode. We want the feeling of solo controlling a player from his to with his journey from not being in the NBA to being an MVP and winning championships.
Yeah.
And all of the feedback that comes from that. And they have it totally right in the journey where when you get traded from your team, you actually feel that when they
Yeah.
put you out on loan. I don't even know what on loan means because I don't watch European football.
Yeah.
I found out via that mode. I'm like, oh man, how
Yeah.
dare you ship me away? I'm gonna make you pay. It actually
Yeah.
felt like real emotions playing this mode. I want that back from my career. When you play the old my careers, it felt like that.
He's an
And
ignorant person. We got to get him out of here.
I don't know who you're talking about.
They think Sega is a soda. We got to get him out of here.
Yeah, Sega is a gaming company that used to make games and systems. Now they occasionally make games.
Yes. Yeah. But I really think, honestly, EA does their stories, I would say, much better than 2K. Much better,
I
just
agree,
across the
especially
board.
right now. And you know
Even
what?
no, go back to Fight Night Champion.
Oh, that was cool too.
That was the first one like that. That was that first real dramatized single player experience.
Yeah,
They killed it. They killed it, and then they came back and with the journey and with long shots.
I
Long
love
shots
the
is
journey.
yeah, long shots is the worst of the three comparisons.
But
But
it's still, it's still a fun little football story.
yeah,
It's still a nice little Friday Night Lights thing. My
yeah,
my
but it's
main three
too cheesy.
criticisms. I'm gonna give a criticism I usually wouldn't give on the show because we don't like to get into this territory. But my main three is not enough choice, is not enough about the game,
Hmm.
and it's too much. I don't like them trying to get too into. I don't want to say politics, but social issues.
Yeah,
This game's not about social issues. This game is about being great. And that's enough of an interesting story without you trying to get everybody woke.
yeah, yeah. I don't want to stay woke. I would like to be asleep right now with this. That's why I started.
I
That's what.
came to
That's
2K to
to be
sleep
sleep.
and play this game.
And you
This
trying
is
to make me
Soma.
stay woke. I don't want to stay woke. I want to go sheep time. So I mean, come on, man. Yeah. So yeah, yeah. I don't know. I don't dig it. Right. All right. So that's my player my career spiel. And like someone mentioned in the chat, um, Chris Smoove has almost like the entire first half of the my career
Yeah.
story on his channel right now. So he's killing it, and all props to that brother because man, we started on Machinima on YouTube almost like the exact same time, and he just blew up. Every time I see him, I'm just like wow, bro. Like just
Yeah.
absolute, just props to him. He's all in my career, which is the reason why he's get that access to post the whole thing. So it is dope. Now here's something that we haven't talked about that I think is very important. WNBA.
Okay. Before you do WNBA, I actually got one last my career thing I want to say, and
Yes.
this is a gameplay thing.
Right.
If there's still time, if there are any 2K developers listening, take out the thing where they pick you up at half court and double team you and chase you all over the court. It doesn't make the game harder. It just makes the game more irritating. It's stupid. Like they literally are disrespecting NBA players to trap me as soon as I cross half court. It actually doesn't allow me to run Czar's offenses, and it forces me to cheese the game because the most efficient thing to do is just, since he's at half court, just cross him over, get into the lane, and get a pass or a dunk. And I can do that every single time down the court. There's no reason for that to be in the game. It is not a good addition. Please take it out of the final release.
Yeah, here's what I say. I say this all the time. Whatever adjustment you make sure you're always obeying basketball. And there's nowhere in the world you're going to see an NBA game where an NBA player is left completely wide open and they are trapping somebody at half court just and leaving the guy like literally, that's just not going to happen. Players are too good in the NBA. I don't
It
care who
just
you
looks
are.
bad. That's the
It
thing.
just
I've
looks
never
ridiculous.
like I played 2K 17 and 16 this year before this game came out because I wanted to compare it, and it was just shocking how much of a breath of fresh air the game was because they didn't do that. And
Yeah.
I score 100 points in this game if I want to. You know what I'm saying? In
Yeah.
2K19, 2K20. I mean, in this demo, 50 easy. Like it's not a difficult game, but you just make the game ugly with that kind of thing. And that's still in the game, and I think that is going to make my career a very short-lived aspect of the game
Yeah, that's
for a lot
kind
of
of
people.
that's kind of my whole reason why like that what you just painted is kind of my whole reason why I don't like it when people just say, "Oh, you just got to play on Hall of Fame all the time." You know why? Because there are this things start to happen in the game that are not real. They're not real. It's not real basketball. It's like stuff starts to happen just simply to try to make the game hard. And
Yes.
that it's like, dude, but that wouldn't ever happen. Like Ryan
Right.
Archie Diacono is not going to be 12 for 12 from 3-point range. I don't care if I did leave him open all 12 times.
Right.
But you're going to tell me he's going to make them all because he's got a 77 open shot three and I'm playing on Hall of Fame.
Right.
No, 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 that's not. No, that's not now. No, that's not it. So that's what I don't like. That's
And
what I
let me
don't like.
say, and the reason I don't like it above everything else is because, well, number one, Czar puts up all these great videos talking about how to play the game. And then the computer comes along and tells everybody, no, play this way. If you wonder why people are pressing up on the ball handlers, because the computer's doing that. And so they figure, well, that must be how to guard the ball. The
Mhm.
computer is not sagging off of you making choices about where you want to go and trying to put you into bad positions. Occasionally do that, and it feels really good when the computer genuinely fools you, when they make a really good rotation. There's certain things in the game, like for me, when I play my career, I like to really play my career. Like it's one of my favorite modes to actually control one player and be part of a team. I've had really enjoyable my career campaigns where I averaged just 20 points, 9, 10 assists, nothing outrageous, and we just win the championship. And my goal was, I want the superstar on this team to average his numbers or better.
Mhm.
I don't want LeBron James averaging 14 points. I want him to get 27, 7, and 7 easy. And that brought me joy. But then when you treat my player special, I'm not allowed to do that. Now
Yeah.
I'm going to average 17, 18 assists, and I'm not playing the game the way it's designed. And I have to go to an entirely different mode to experience the game the way it was designed.
Yeah, like I said, always play basketball, whether or
Yeah.
not, no matter what the mode is, just make sure it's still basketball. All right, so now let's talk about the ladies.
Yeah.
WNBA. Now I'm gonna tell y'all, I put up some WNBA footage
Saw that
from
earlier.
2 different games. Let me tell y'all something. Out of all of the things that I really, really loved out of 2K, 2K20 during the time I got a chance to play it, and even going back and watching over the footage that I had and the junior had, I might actually be the most impressed with the WNBA integration than I am of anything else in the game. And I'm not, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying it's the best part of the game. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is I am more impressed with that than I am with anything. Like, I don't think there's anything else that I saw in the game. Like, I liked a bunch of stuff, but I don't think there's anything else that I saw in the game that made me like, whoa. I mean, I am really surprised at the depth in which this was brought to this game. It wasn't lazy where they took female heads and put them on male bodies. They didn't take
Sound like you
female.
talking about somebody.
Yeah, they didn't take female heads and put them on a skinny male body and keep all of the male animations. They
Mhm.
didn't do that. Um, they didn't take the same announcers from the NBA experience and just have them have a few names plugged in there. And then when they were talking about a name that wasn't in the database, they just totally ignore it.
Mhm.
They have their own announcers. It's the same announcers that you see in the My Player Builder, but there are full out stories,
Yeah.
like literally narrative, whole nine while you're playing a WNBA game. It beyond that presentation stuff, it feels different
Yeah.
and it feels appropriately different. You
Well,
know,
here's an interesting thing, Mazique, about the WNBA, and I want you to hold that thought.
yeah.
So something about 2K. This is an old legacy thing. Actually, Czar and Jason Bad, a lot of people from the Operation Sports boards would really appreciate this. They used to make these rosters where everybody was 4 inches shorter, and the ratings were just shaved off.
Hmm.
And the reason was is because 2K would break once people started to get 99s.
Hmm.
Once you got 99 speed and 99 block, you would start seeing those weird animations. So, because the WNBA players are smaller and their athleticism is more regulated than the male players, the game is allowed to represent a lot of the aspects of basketball more clean
Yes.
because you're not going to have, say, Kristaps Porzingis, who is an extraordinarily agile man for his height, which is a tremendous height.
Have you seen how cut and swole he is?
Yeah,
Mercy.
yeah. So him coming from the corner into the lane is a possibly game-breaking situation because it's very hard to get that right. If Kristaps Porzingis is even slightly faster than he's supposed to be, I'm talking about the smallest margin of error on the behalf of the developers, it feels like a totally broken element of the game. But when you reduce those players all by 4 inches apiece or so, more with the WNBA players, and now you're playing with this wide open spacing, players that are a little slower, they don't jump quite as high, but they still shoot really well, still have the passing still crisp, the dribbling still crisp. You have great plays. The form of basketball is really clean. And I think people should really play the game mode for two reasons. One, because it's probably very fun and enjoyable. Um, but two, the WNBA presents an opportunity for 2K to approach the other modes more experimentally,
Hmm.
right? Because if they do My Career, they're not going to have LeBron James's production company come over and do a separate WNBA My
Dig
Career,
it. Dig it. Dig it.
right? So what
Hmm.
they can do is the 2K version of career mode that we want to see might first appear in the WNBA if that mode gets enough support and there's a hunger for it. And I seriously hope that it does because I would love to see 2K's ideas about my league that might put what they're doing in danger in the main mode. But like, hey, in this WNBA, let's try some things. Same thing with
Yeah.
my career. In this WNBA, let's try some things. Let's experiment with this. I think it could really, really open 2K up, and it could wind up being one of the greatest things that ever happened to the franchise.
Yeah. I mean, I really, dude, it's fun, dude. Like legit fun. Like, so I played with the Las Vegas Aces, and I played with the Phoenix Mercury because I really wanted to get a feel for some of the taller players.
Yeah,
So I had Liz Cambage and I had Brittany Griner. Man, I'm telling you, dude, so it feels good, and it's tripped
yeah,
out too because live. Live's WNBA experience played better than their NBA experience too. Now, I'm
mm,
not saying that WNBA plays better than NBA and 2K, But I'm gonna tell you something. I think hardcore basketball people might actually be like, you know what? The WNBA game, the WNBA play in 2K is actually smoother than the
Well, you know what
NBA
it is,
play.
B. Even in real life, right?
Hmm.
If you got a 99 vert in real life, that's
Hmm.
a bailout where you don't have to be
Yes.
good at basketball because you're so good at
Yes.
jumping.
Yes.
You don't get that bailout in the female game because
You
their
don't.
athleticism doesn't reach
Right.
game breaking levels. They're
Because people are
athletic
not playing
in
above
their
the
own
rim.
right, but
Yeah.
it's not to that extreme. Even when they do dunk, it's not to the extreme. And it reminds me a lot of those old rosters with the reduced heights where people have been complaining about spacing in 2K for a while.
Hmm.
If the spacing in 2K feels cluttered, if the players feel a little fat, play the WNBA and give your feedback because there might be some serious gold in that mode because this is like them having a default roster in the game that used to be a custom experimental roster that would fix the game. It's
You
almost
know,
like a version of that.
this was a really good question. This just came from Jason Battle. It's a really good question. He says, "Do the WNBA players have badges?" Here's the thing, Jason. I tried to find the WNBA roster screen so that I could flip through it and kind of look at that stuff. I couldn't find it. So I don't know if that's a thing that it won't be there. I don't know. I don't know what that is. I don't know if it'll be there in the final build, but I couldn't find it. I could play with all the teams. I could start a WNBA season. Now you can't do a full my league, but you can do a WNBA single season, which I'm cool with that, especially in the first year.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I didn't like a lot of people are saying they didn't even think about that. I didn't think about it either. I wanted to look at the rosters for the WNBA players, but I didn't think about that. But man, I'm telling you, it when you get a chance to play this, I'm telling y'all, I don't even care if you don't like women's basketball. You're gonna see what I'm talking about, and then you cannot hate on that presentation. I
Yeah.
mean,
Props to 2K for their art
it
director.
was
That's a guard.
totally not lazy. It was totally not lazy. Like I really, because I'm gonna be honest. This is what I expected. I expected Kevin Harlan to go Brianna Stewart on the jump shot,
Right.
Brittany Griner with the layup. That's what I thought was gonna happen.
See, you know why I didn't expect that? Because the G League commentary in my career was fire.
Yes,
Like,
it
and so
was.
was the Chinese commentary. And I don't speak
Yes,
Chinese, but I know it was dope.
yes, yes. The
You just hear it
commentary, the
is tight.
commentary in the My Team Builder thing is good.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's good, you know. I keep saying lazy because I'm thinking about the way that you this Desire. I feel like you sleepy. That's it's late. It's late. It's at the end of the development cycle. And the bosses are sleepy. Yeah, I'm talking about live. That's why I keep saying late. Oh, my bad. Eugene. My name is Eugene. And Mr. Pettit. I apologize. I apologize. I apologize. I apologize. All right, so
The
yeah,
main thing I say, this is the other thing about the WNBA that I have to say, and I said this on a previous show, but it still rings true, in my opinion. They need to keep the game within the economy of the rest of the game. I know this year you probably only get awarded VC, but I think that you should be able to earn some other currency that tribute, or at least enough VC that
mhm.
you don't feel like you're taken away from your normal 2K time from playing the WNBA. Because the fact of the matter is, this is a pretty grindy game, and every minute I'm not raising levels on my character, or my team, I should feel like I'm getting something out of it to contribute towards that. And I don't want the WNBA to feel like a diversion. So I hope they have enough
Yeah,
VC in that mode so that if people are curious about it, they go, "Oh, I'm getting VC for it anyway. I might as well play."
I'm gonna tell you right now, if you can't earn VC in that mode, there will be some sort of protest. Think about it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Think about it. Like that's gonna be a problem. So yeah, I'm hoping that that's not the case because that'll be a problem. That'll be a serious problem. Um, let's see. Let's talk about. Let me see. Let's talk about this. Let's talk about Play Now Online.
Okay.
Where's Kushmir?
Yeah. Well, Real quick on Play Now Online, let me just say, with the Golden
Yeah.
State Warriors broken up, it should be a lot more fun in general.
It's gonna be
'Cause-
more fun in general. I think I wrote an article about that right after the last major move in the offseason, right? As
Yeah,
everybody's talking about the NBA being more fun, the NBA 2K experience and Play Now Online is going to be more fun because you should see a big variety in the teams that people are choosing. Also, you should see a big variety in the teams that players are using because guards are now not
right,
obsolete.
right.
So you got teams with great guards. You can see people picking them. You won't always have people doing all these different things. I mean, Giannis is still a problem. I'm just gonna tell y'all right now, Giannis is still a problem. Giannis can guard a lot of positions, maybe all five. But you know what? I'm not that mad because we're talking about him, who
Yeah.
is a literal freak of nature athletically and from a size standpoint. But I think that is going to impact Play Now Online a lot. I don't think they're doing anything different. I haven't seen anyone talking about them doing anything different in regards to the way that is structured or worked. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. Maybe something will come down the pike. In between the next thing and the last thing that's coming in regards to the information. I don't know, but I would be a little bit surprised if something else came out for that. I think it's going to be. I know it's going to be in the game. I
Hmm.
saw it on the menu, but I just don't think that there's going to be more done to it. Here's what I think they did, and I think this is what Madden tried to do this year, and to a certain to a degree, Madden succeeded, right? But I think that they tried to improve every mode by simply improving the gameplay.
Yeah, and I'm glad they had a gameplay year. I think that's a good
Yeah.
look for them. I will say one thing I hope is improved from Play Now Online. I didn't play much Play Now Online last year,
Hmm.
um, but when I did play, it was after I'd gotten really used to the game for a while. So you start in the lower ranks, and other people in those lower ranks are there, and it was just so ridiculously toxic.
Yeah.
Like there were so many pauses and timeouts, and people just leaving and just crying on the microphone.
Dude, you
It's just
one
like,
one day I was playing a Play Now Online game.
yeah,
This dude called so many pause. He's paused the game so many times. Timeout. Called timeout so much. So much. I don't even be on the mic when I'm playing.
yeah.
I picked up the mic. I said, "Do you have to boo boo or something? Why did Why did you get on the game if you knew you had to go to the bathroom? If your mama told you to get off the game, boy."
Dude, I
Oh
don't
my
remember
god,
what
I
team
just
I was
went
using,
off. I
but it
went
was a
off.
team with he had the Golden State Warriors, so his team was better than mine.
Right.
And I was beating him up, and he was just literally every time I scored, he would pause, adjust something. Can we just streamline this a little bit? Like there should be a 2 minute. Every pause should cost a timeout. First of all, like
Yeah, I don't know. I think
yeah, I do know.
I think every pause within a 5 minute period, a second pause in a 5 minute period should be a
Yeah,
timeout.
I give you one free pause a quarter. That's plenty.
Yes, one free pause, and that's a lot.
That's plenty. That's
In
four.
6 minute quarters, that's a lot.
Yeah, maybe a half.
Yeah, a half. A
Cause
half.
let me tell you something. It takes just as long to play an NBA online game as it does to play a game of Overwatch. If they was pausing 4 or 5 times in Overwatch, wouldn't
Oh
be
my
no
god, people would lose
Overwatch.
their mind.
We'd be out of there. Like
They would lose
seriously,
their mind, bro.
I don't know
It
how you're gonna have. And the thing is, the 2K community is soft when it comes to competition. No offense,
They
but like
are.
they are,
No,
they are
man, they
weak,
are. They are.
weak-minded, putty of people. You know what I'm saying? They
They
like,
are,
oh,
man.
liver left in
They
the
are. They
refrigerator for a
are,
long
man. And,
time.
and they are, man. Like, dude, what did Mike ask this question? He asked the question. He said, "Should at some point should the ability to get a green on a jump shot be locked?" Right? And I said, "Absolutely not." And I put up a meme of Kobe making a
Right, right.
ridiculously heavily contested shot, and then other people started following, putting up similar memes. People were coming at me so hard. Man, if I play really good defense and I'm on him, there's no way in the world he's supposed to make a shot. I'm like, dude, this is still basketball, man.
Yeah, yeah.
And
So you know what I think happened with that discussion. I'm glad you brought that up because I agree with you. I think we're trying to get to the same place.
Mhm.
Here's the thing about it, right? If you get a extremely heavy contest on somebody and they can still get a green. What this should mean is that white can't go in. So this
Exactly. I have
means
no
that
problem
that
with that.
green is the only way for them to make the shot, and then it's
Exactly.
extremely hard to hit. We're not
Yes.
saying that their shot is unaffected by your defense, but is there a way to 110% cancel out someone's ability to make the shot, even if they have a great player and you're all in their shorts? That's
No.
not basketball.
Thank
Basketball
you.
doesn't work that way.
Thank you.
Occasionally, that shot goes in, especially if they're hot.
Thank
And
you.
I think the thing about the green that people are misunderstanding is the green is a perfect release. So by allowing people to have the greens, you are now allowed to destroy everything but besides a perfect release. If they don't have to get a green and it's just the luck of the draw, then that means that that little percentage chance, it'll be completely separated from their skill. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So if they shoot that shot and you guarded them so well that they only had a 2% chance of making that shot and it goes in, it doesn't matter what their release was because the 2% chance is what ruled it. Whereas by putting it in the green release window and making that window really, really, really tiny, you're having it be both skill based and percentage, which makes the shot actually harder to go in if the green is still possible.
I mean, that's pretty much what I'm saying, man. It's like I don't care who you are, but Zara is saying that holding a button is not skill based shooting, and that shooting has to have more involved with it than just hitting a button. Honestly, I feel like it can be hitting a button. I just feel like the sweet spot that generates a green on the shot meter has to be drastically decreased when somebody is under
Well,
heavily
there's two
contested.
technical factors, right?
Hmm.
First and foremost, anything in a game that's one frame is extremely challenging to do, including pressing a button.
Hmm.
Because one frame is out of 60 frames, one frame is 1/60th of a second. The fastest a human mind can perceive something is something I think down to like 2 or 3 frames is like the absolute fastest that you can perfectly do something over and over. It might even be larger than that. It might be closer to like an 11th of a second that the human brain actually works. And this is at peak operating capacity. So what you're asking of the player is beyond the capacity of a human to do perfectly every single time to hit something in a one frame window. So the
Yeah.
answer is to leave them only one frame to get a green release on a heavily contested shot. That's part one. Part two is contested shots usually have different shot animations.
Yes.
So this is not them pulling up from the center of the 3 point line open in timing your green release. This is them hitting a one frame green on an animation that they don't see 100 times in a row while they
Exactly.
play the game. So,
And we're
again,
not,
a contested shot animation from a different angle.
right, and then we're not even also factoring in the fact that just human nerves, you know,
100%.
you know,
Because they're reacting to the defense.
they're reacting to the defense, they're reacting to the situation of the game. If it's a competitive, if it's an NBA 2K League game, you're reacting to the pressure that's going on in that particular environment. I don't think really don't think it's too easy. I really don't. Zara's saying people, I mean, he's saying people cheat with the controllers. Well, that brings in an entirely different element, in my opinion, because if you're gonna cheat with the controller, that's like saying, it's too easy for this dude to hit home runs, so we got to change the game. But he's on steroids.
Right, right. Change the steroids.
So I mean, he's on steroids, so of course it's easy for him to hit home runs. So
And
that to me, that's
honestly,
what a souped up controller is.
and if that's the issue, 2K cheat detection is relatively simple when it comes to controller inputs
Mhm.
because that's all math language. So if someone is getting perfect inputs 50, 100 times in a row with a controller and they're getting green releases every time, you can tell that it's a digital signal that's happening in the controller. Like
Yeah,
it's not like, you can't stop people from cheating if you really want to. If that became a problem, that's the problem, not the
yeah,
system.
yeah. I just don't think they care enough in park pro am type settings. Um, you
Well, I
know,
know they don't care enough in Play Now Online. That's for sure.
oh, they absolutely, man. I mean, you could play with your feet and play now online. Nobody would care. They're not gonna care. Only like, this nobody's dying on that hill. Uh, so yeah, I mean, somebody had a question. Let's see. Um, all right. So Tay Shakir says, I have a real question. Why does jump shot animation affect its success? I, I think I can answer that. I know Books has something to say about that too. The jump shot animation, you first of all, you have to learn it. And so once you learn it, then it is what it is. But visually, that message that you sent to your mind as you watch the jump shot animation take place. Some people turn the jump shot animation completely, they tune it out and they only watch the meter, which is probably a more accurate way to do it. That's not the way I choose to play because watching the player is more fun to me. So that's why I would even take the shot meter off. Junior got me playing with the shot meter on. I used to turn it off all the time because I would prefer to watch the motion because to me that better simulates letting it go at the top of the release and the whole nine, right? But that visual when you're seeing the shot motion, if that's what you watch and you don't watch the meter, I definitely think that that it plays a part.
Yeah, I would say the main reason is because jump shots all happen.
Ah, I see what he's saying. I misunderstood his question.
Yeah,
So
I
he
know what he's
said,
saying. Yeah,
yeah,
so
oh,
what? Yeah,
not that one.
jump shots all happen at different timings,
Right.
right? So what happens is because the jump shots have different frames of animation, what 2K does is they have different green windows for different jump shots, as opposed to having the green window based on rating and every jump shot having the same size green window. That's basically it,
Yes.
right?
Hmm.
So if it was basically like this, if you are taking a shot, you have 10 frames to hit a green if you are 75 and you're shooting within such and such range. And if you're a 99, you have 15 frames to hit a green. No matter what jump shot you're using, then it wouldn't matter what jump shot you have. But the way it is the jump shots have different green windows based on their animation. And as that green window opens and closes, so does the opportunity for you to succeed, as well as the fact that because they happen at different speeds, if you have a jump shot with a big green window that also has a very fast gather, now you have a situation where the jump shot happens very quickly and it's very easy. So the players who master that are going to have a leg up on the players who are using something else.
Yeah, and also we want to call out the fact that as soon as we get somebody with a wrench in here, Czar is going to be banned. Uh, this is pretty much going to
why?
be
Why is
something
that, Brian? What do you do? He looks like
because he's
he's well
talking a
behaved to
lot.
me.
It's something. It looks like he typed something in Swahili up here, and I don't. I didn't. I haven't put it in Google Translate yet, and so I'm not gonna bother.
To me, it looked like he just asked an honest question, but I don't know. I
He
haven't
asked the
been reading the
honest
whole chat.
question. Yeah, yeah. You're gonna get banned. You're gonna be the most banned man ever. He's gonna ask some of some. He's gonna ask me some why does books beat Brian so bad in fighting games. You have no idea what happened here. You don't know what happened here. You don't know what happened here. You're just saying things. You have no idea what happened here. You're one of the
Oh.
top 10 most horrible human beings I've ever met. And then let me tell you what happened, y'all. So let me tell you what happened. I went to Atlanta, right?
Uh-huh.
And so I knew I was in the same state with the czar, right? I don't know, I ain't know where he live. You don't tell him, but he don't tell me where he live. He did that on purpose. And I said, hey man, well let's get together, man. I said, you know what he told me?
What's that?
He told me, I don't want you at my house. And he told me he lied on Big Mama, said Big Mama's he said a whole bunch of stuff, just lies, just all that to avoid me is what he did. He did not want to talk. He treated me like, I had to negotiate with a Uber driver to let me sleep in the back seat of their car. It was terrible. All this, I'm looking for someplace to eat. So I was hungry. I said, Zar, could you do you have yeah, oh no, we on keto over here, and you don't have it was terrible. It was a horrible treatment and I thought we was friends. I really did. I thought we was friends, man. And it was just terrible. No, it wasn't no at the last minute. I said, Zar, this is what I said. I picked up the phone. I said, how you doing, Zar? I'm very hungry. I'm very hungry. I said, I haven't eaten since Monday. And it was like Wednesday. And and he said, sound like your problem to me. And
Is that what he said?
no, he said, sound like your problem to me. And I said, hey, for real? He said, it's cold out here, even when it's hot.
That don't sound like the Eugene I know, but it's
Man,
strange
it
what
was
power
so
does to
nasty.
people.
I felt so just led astray, run amok. It was terrible out here, man.
You-
I didn't like it.
oh, Brian, you dirty.
It was the worst thing I ever felt in my life. You know, I don't know what happened. But anyway, no. I
For
actually,
everybody watching the show, y'all know Brian lying.
I'm only lying a little bit. So no, I forgot. I actually forgot that we was in the same state. So I called him. It was kind of late, and he couldn't fit me into his busy schedule. I understood. I understood. No, all right. No, he could. No, I did. I forgot. It was like last minute, and I think I was leaving like the next day. But I couldn't even get no water with a lemon, crazy girl. I couldn't even get no, not even some sugar water. It was bad. It was bad out there. But it's all good. It's all good, man. So, man, I really thoroughly appreciate y'all coming back through today. We were
Absolutely.
strong in here. We really were. We will be back next week unless Nelson tell me he don't want to talk to me. Uh,
No, I'm good. I thoroughly enjoyed
Kind of
every
like
minute of
Tazar
this.
told me he didn't want to talk to me in Atlanta.
Yeah, I can't wait.
Uh,
And we're gonna obviously have more to get into with 2K. So guys, I would say for next week, if there's any specific questions that about the build or the news that comes out, definitely hit us on the Ask Us Bro. Y'all see, we got the technology now. Throw all that stuff on screen, and I'm
yeah,
happy
y'all
to
see
take
this
a.
stuff? Look at this here. I'm gonna show you again. Bang. Crazy girl said couldn't even get no water with lemon. Man.
Yeah,
No,
I'm definitely happy to go back into the build and experiment with more stuff. I didn't talk about bigs at all. I haven't gotten into the bigs except for the stretch four, which is amazing.
yes, absolutely. So, oh yeah, Pete told. Let me touch on this real quick. Pete was saying on the classic rosters. I did notice that there are a number of really key players that are not on some of those classic rosters. And I think I know why. Manu Ginobili's not on the all-time Spurs. Like I don't even know how that happens, but I know how it happens, but it's bogus. David West is not on the all-time Pacers. And then of
Who's
course,
ahead of Manu? Sean Elliott?
nah, it's just not that. What it is he just retired and
Uh,
they had his license as a part of the players association,
but he
but
hasn't
not as
gotten
a
it.
retired player yet.
Right,
So
right,
I
right.
would be surprised to see him added post release, unless there's some sort of issue, but I don't know why that would be. Um, and That's not the case with Rasheed Wallace. That's a whole nother thing. Yet no Barkley, no Reggie Miller. Reggie Miller, Charles Barkley, Rasheed Wallace are kind of more in the same type of boat. Why you don't see them? I don't know what's going on with Tayshaun Prince though. Tayshaun Prince probably should have been there. He was there last year. I don't know. I don't know what that's about. But he's not there. But let me say this: when y'all and I tried to show y'all a little bit of it in the rosters, but when y'all get a hold of it, take a look at them rosters that my Lithuanian homie Razor put together. I'm telling you, it's a bunch of it's too many of them to name. Anton Jameson's his, Earl Monroe's his, like it's literally I'm gonna say 100 and something of them that are his. Mad improvements to I think I saw somebody ask the question a little bit earlier. They say um did um did he do the Tracy McGrady? He did not do that Tracy McGrady. I liked his Tracy McGrady better than the one they used, to be quite honest. It's better than the one they used to have. They used to look like some sort of diseased tadpole. I don't know what it was that they had in there before, but it's better than that one. But yeah, it's not the one that he had. So, but Razor killed it. Just killed it, man. And to my knowledge, what I understand, he's not done doing work with the game. So really shout outs to him. And I'm really, really proud of him. Definitely am really proud of him. So yep, that's it,
Yeah,
man.
shout out to Razor, a fantastic artist, and great job on everything I've seen.
Absolutely. So books, did you have anything else that you wanted to offer?
No, thanks you guys. Thanks to everybody for showing up. And again, all the support for my artwork has been amazing from everybody in Sim Nation, at me bro Nation, Unique Mazique Nation.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Has been great. Watch Mazique's footage on everything that he's putting up. I'm still waiting for more baseball from Mazique. To be honest with you,
You know what? I'm gonna be flat out honest with you, Nelson. That baseball videos was getting like 72, 82 views of a video. And so I did a poll on my channel. I said, come on
uh
now, y'all let me know. Should I do NBA 2K? Should I do Madden? Should I do MLB The Show? Or should I do a mixture of all three? 70 some odd percent of people said only do 2K. 2% said do MLB.
I just
2%
know
said
I got
I
to get my MLB fix from watching Jason battling good game, bro. And I feel like I'm cheating on you a little bit. I feel like
yeah,
I'm going
I'm
behind your back. It feels wrong.
I got the little baseball channel and I should have just kept putting it there because at least I knew that the people who came there, that's what they wanted to see. So I should
If
have
you
just
build
did.
it, they will come.
Yeah, I built it and then I left it. So then I guess that's what happened. So, all right, guys, I appreciate everybody watching. As usual, God bless and peace.